All right, guys. Quick video about rice and my rice journey. I cook a lot for the family, and lately I've been wanting to make more rice. I've got a lot of experience through the years making regular, long grain, plain rice that you find anywhere here in America. I don't do jasmine. I don't do quinoa. I'm not doing brown rice so much, just regular long grain enriched rice, run of the mill stuff, right? And for years I've been making it the same way, and for years it's been coming out soggy, and it's not as good as it should be. And I have Asian friends who taught me their way of making rice, and I was like, well, that doesn't sound right. And I had one of those small, I don't have it out here, but it's the small little ones with the flip lever, the on and off. You know, it flips, you pour in your rice and your water and you just plug it in, and it kicks down to simmer when the rice boils, and then you can just serve it out of there. I got one of those now, and the little flip lever busted, so I don't use it. And sometimes I like to make more rice than that, and I make Spanish rice for taco night and stuff like that. But I'm not really happy with the consistency, the way the rice comes out, because I've been using this, which is good. I've had it for a long time, and I got it for like $25 at like Big Lots or one of those stores. And you know, it's the insert comes out, and I've got this. I clean this separate, and this clicks in the lid, and this stuff catches the water and works pretty good. Standard issue, right? I lost the little overflow water cap, so it drips on the counter sometimes, but still works good. It's got a white rice button, and you push start, and it counts down to tell you how long it's done. Till it's done, it beeps, and then it kicks into keep warm. Usually when it kicks into keep warm, I just unplug it, because it'll stay hot for a long time, and I don't want to overcook it or have it burn on the bottom or any of that stuff, because it is just a conventional heating element, nothing fancy. Well, I've been watching a lot of recipes, and the rice looks so good, and I'm watching all these different things. Like, why is my rice coming out mushy? And I've always used 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water. And in my logic, if 1 cup of rice can hold 2 cups of water, that's what's supposed to happen. Because if you use less water, the rice will come out crunchy or not right. So why would you use 1 cup of rice for 1 cup of water? That doesn't make any sense. To me, it didn't. And I got to thinking that, well, my rice cooker must just be bad. And so I've been looking at, since it's Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Zojirushi rice cookers, which are on sale at their website, 10% off. They're $160 starting for, like, I think it's a 6-cup model, and $200 for like a 10-cup model, on up to $700-800, and they have AI, and they have all kinds of shit. It's crazy with the rice cookers. So I was looking at these, and I was on the website about to place an order for a Zojirushi rice cooker, thinking it will last me forever. I need one of these to make good rice, or else in the meantime my rice is just going to be garbage, because I know I'm making it right. So I did it before I bit the bullet, and before I pushed the purchase button on the Zojirushi website. I got this thing out, and if I just want to make 1 serving of rice, like one cup of rice, a regular measuring cup, not the little rice cup, because I lost it or whatever. 1 cup of rice to 1 cup of water, and then like a half teaspoon of salt and a small pat of butter. That's what they say, from what I'm gathering, works the best. So I did that, and it barely even covered anything in the bottom of this thing. It was like nothing. I was like, this thing's going to burn it. It's not going to be able to tell what's going on. It's not going to work. So I tried it, and it worked. great. It worked great. And I said, well, the rice physically looks very good. It's appealing. You can see each rice grain and it's not sticky. And I learned that you have to rinse the rice because I always would skip that part. And the starch that you rinse off of the rice is actually turns to glue, more or less, when you boil it. So you have glue in your rice. And you don't want glue in your rice, so rinse out the starch. I learned that, and I did that on this run. And I did the rice, and I did auto cook, and it steamed, and it did it just right, beeped off. And I said, okay, this is going to be burnt, it's going to be dry and crispy, and I'm going to have to throw it in the trash, and I'm going to go ahead and order this expensive rice cooker. But it was awesome. It turned out great. It was perfect. It was al dente. It wasn't crunchy. There was some bite to it, but it did like get stuck in my teeth, like my back teeth. It was kind of, I'm not used to rice like that. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be. It's not crunchy, but it's just barely not crunchy. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but when I would make Spanish rice with this thing, I'd put in 3 cups of rice and I'd put in 6 cups of water, and this thing would be like way up there. And I put in tomato sauce and all kinds of stuff to make Spanish rice. But when it was done, it's like you could use an ice cream scooper to scoop it out. It was just like mush. Tasted great. And I was like, there's got to be a better way. I'm not doing this right. So what I'm figuring out in my head is that rice is like a sponge. You can go 1-to-1, and that's just enough to make it edible. It will soak up 2-to-1, but then it will be mush. So next time I try rice, I'm going to go 1.5 times water to 1 part rice, or maybe a little less. And that will be like a sweet spot where it's not like al dente where it's stuck in your teeth. But the individual grains, I mean, it was you could take a fork and each individual grain, nothing was stuck to each other. It would just fall apart. It was perfect. It was picture perfect. So next time I'm going to go a little like 1.25 cup water to 1 cup rice, or maybe even 1.5 cup water to 1 cup rice. And usually I put chicken bouillon in with the water to give it some flavoring. But I'm going to start paying more attention to rinsing the rice good, maybe putting in some salt and maybe a little butter depending what I'm using. If I'm using chicken bouillon, I wouldn't use salt. So I saved myself $160, $170 by doing a little research. And I learned that this thing is just fine. And it does have the fuzzy logic. I didn't even know what that meant when I bought it, but there's a lot of other things it has on here. Saute, this delay, yogurt, slow cook, steam, keep warm. It automatically kicks on to keep warm after your rice is done. And then it runs a timer to show how long it's been keeping warm. Instead of counting down, it will then count up. But for 20, whatever these things are now, $20, $25, I don't even know, for a cheap one, it works great. And don't underestimate this thing. There's no need to buy a Zojirushi when you don't need to. You just need to pay attention. Now as for the cheap little ones with the flip lever that you just plug in and they start, I've had bad luck with those. I've had burning with those. The pan is extraordinarily thin. It dents easily. This one is a little more durable. I always hand wash it. I never machine wash it. Any nonstick, anything, knives, anything I don't put through I do dishes by hand when they need to be done by hand. But yeah, don't underestimate these things. And if you're thinking about getting a Zojirushi because you're not happy with the rice you're making, take a good look at your technique and following details, especially rinsing. That's a big thing. And you want to do that in order to make the best possible rice. Now I can move forward. I want to make other rice dishes, Japanese dishes, fried rice dishes, different kinds of rice, because rice is economical. You can buy it in a big bag at Costco. It feeds a family. It's hearty. It's filling. And I like the rice aspect, but I want to learn to do it right instead of making mushy mush. Whether it's Spanish rice, white rice, it's always been mushy mush. Now I know why. It takes a little bit of learning, a little bit of homework, but it'll be worth it. So that's the information I'm relaying to you before you run out and buy Black Friday or whatever another countertop item. I have so many now. I have separate storage to rotate them off my counter. It's just ridiculous. So I talked myself out of spending another $175. I really didn't need to, which is strange for me because normally I would just buy it and then just have the remorse later or have the regret later. But in this case, I actually feel good about this thing that's been around for 10 years. Works great. It does make good rice, so don't underestimate these things. That's all I'm saying. Pay attention to your technique. And yeah, I've got 4 days off, so that's what I'm researching is rice. So how sad is that? Anyways, you guys have a good day. Happy Thanksgiving. See you.